So today we're going to talk about the shoulders. So while there's a lot of different shoulder exercises out there, there's really only a few major key components. So I'm just going to go over, in my opinion, the best exercises for each muscle group. So let's kick things off with the anterior deltoid. My favorite exercise, and in my opinion, the best one that you can do for your anterior deltoids, is going to be a shoulder press. Now here's why. Not only can you get the most activation and overload out of the shoulder press, it really helps overload the lateral deltoids and also the triceps. So it's a very well-rounded exercise, and it really just helps build that upper body that gives you those three-dimensional shoulders that people love having. So in order to do a proper shoulder press, there are some techniques that you should understand. So the big problem I see people doing with the shoulder press is they take the barbell and they go all the way down to their clavicle. Now this is a problem because it actually takes tension off your deltoids. And if you don't believe me, take your arm and go like this. Right down here, it's not tight at all. Once you get up here, now it's starting to get tighter and tighter as you press up. When you get down to right here, this is about the limit for where your anterior deltoids activation is going to be. Once you go below, it starts getting rest. And the last thing we want to do when we're lifting weights is rest the muscle that we're training in between reps. All right, we want to maintain tension at all times. So if you're going to do this exercise with the barbell, I highly recommend you do what I do. I keep the bar parallel to my nose. That's my starting point. Extend all the way up, lower very slowly. You want to be in control the entire time. Pause at your nose and repeat. Now another important thing, we don't want our elbows going back too far flared. So imagine you're kind of bending the bar, kind of like with a bench press when you bend the bar, but kind of bend the bar so that your elbows come forward a bit, and then you go up. Now if you're going to do a dumbbell variation, which is, in my opinion, a very good idea, the technique varies just a little bit. Since you don't have a bar there, you can actually still throw your elbows back, but get the dumbbells parallel to your ears and then shoot all the way up. And this really gives you a good activation on the front delts that even the barbell can't do. But what will help, and if you look right here, I give you a side shot. You really want to get that dumbbell parallel to the ear so that you're pushing a 90-degree angle, because a lot of people, they're not seeing in the mirror when they're pressing. They might even be going like that, getting like a 70-degree angle, which is going to start involving the upper chest. We're trying to isolate the front delts here, so keep that 90 degrees, or elbows forward, press all the way up, lower down to your nose, and you are good to go. I personally don't do any front raises. I think the exercise is redundant, and I don't think you get nearly as good of an activation out of a front raise as you do out of a shoulder press. So next up, we're going to hit the lateral delts or the side delts. So there's really only one exercise type for the lateral heads, and that's going to be a lateral raise. Now there's plenty of variations you can do, but the general movement pattern is going to be the same. So you can use a lot of different things, but for this, let's just do dumbbells for now. And I want to help you guys get in the mind-muscle connection of doing a lateral raise, because a lot of people might be involving their traps, right? They might be shrugging the weight up, and we don't want to do that. So to get to your mind-muscle connection, kind of imagine that you're a bird. You're a bird. You're gonna push your shoulders down and only lift with those lateral heads. Or another good way is, like, imagine you're gonna backhand slap someone, but keep your hands down here and backhand slap upwards. The key element here is that we want to keep the traps relaxed through the entire exercise so that we really isolate the lateral delt. Now, the thing is here, the lateral delts can take a lot of punishment, but they can't exactly take a lot of weight. So I would really recommend that if you're going to do any lateral delt movements, that you always incorporate some form of drop set So you can start doing some heavy reps, and as soon as your form starts to give out, immediately rack the weight and pick up something lighter, whether it's a dumbbell or if you're doing it on a machine. Lower the weight and keep going. And when that form starts to give out, do it again. And the reason why is because you're not going to be able to fully exhaust the lateral delts using heavy weight. They can take a lot of punishment, but they can't take a lot of weight. So you're going to want to try to be dynamic with this exercise more so than other muscle groups, especially because the form requirements are so strict. I highly recommend that you incorporate some sort of drop set. And once you start getting the feel of this, if you use cables, you're going to be able to maintain the tension longer than you would with dumbbells. So I would highly recommend that you get a cable machine. Or if your gym has a stationary lateral delt machine, I think those are incredible, but not every gym is going to have them. So if they don't, cables will work just as fine. But I would consider these a little bit more advanced. So start with dumbbells and then work your way up into different variations to build up your strength. Alright, so final one, we're going to be going over the posterior deltoid. Now, if you remember in the beginning, we said that your posterior deltoids get activated when your arms are extended and you're bringing them back, whether it's through a lateral movement or bringing them down below. So how do we hit these? Well, my favorite is going to be the bent over fly. So, or some people call it the reverse fly. So what you want to do is you take dumbbells and you bend over like you're going to do a deadlift, and you quite literally just fly the weight. So right here I have a demonstration of it. I won't do it at the table because I'm sitting upright, so it's not really going to work. But if you look up here, you can see I'm bent over. I'm as close to parallel as I can get, and I'm flying the weight outwards. Now you can do this either with a neutral grip that's going to be holding the dumbbells like hammers, or you can do what I think is even better and pronate. When you pronate, you can really isolate the posterior deltoid. So mix it up, try both of them out. I think that you'll enjoy them. And there's another variation that you can do, and I don't actually know if this exercise has an official name, so I'm just going to show it to you. And these work really good. I don't think they work as good as the reverse fly, but you stand over here in kind of a strange position where it's like picking up a deadlifting bar, but you actually have the bar behind your ankles, and you're going to kind of hack squat it up and then push your arms behind you. You can do this with a bar, but you can get actually even better activation if you use a dumbbell and you kind of go outwards at maybe like a 20 to 30 degree angle, kind of like you're swimming almost. But that's more of an advanced technique, and as far as overloading the posterior deltoids, I think the reverse fly is more than good enough. Even though this exercise here will work, I think it might be a little bit more than most people can handle with proper form. So in this case, I think the simpler answer is the better one. I'm going to go with the reverse flies. Alright guys, there we have it. Those are my favorite exercises to do for shoulders. It's very important that we hit all three deltoids equally. So these are my favorite movements to do, and even though you can do variations of them, I think it's really best to try to stick to what works the best. So you want to hit some sort of vertical pressing movement, you want to do some sort of lateral movement, and then some sort of reverse fly. It's up to you how you want to mix things up, but as long as you hit those three components, you're going to start building three-dimensional shoulders in no time, and you're going to prevent yourself from getting injured because you'll have a well-rounded shoulder grouping where all three heads are working in tandem to keep that ball and socket in the ball and socket. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a like, give the channel a subscription, and of course, as always, I'll see you in the next one. That was so cheesy.